Hi guys, welcome back to another day in the life. You guys are never gonna believe who I have with me today though.
Hey girl, hey.
Oh my God. And we are at the Jenifer Lewis's house today. We're doing a yoga class. Have you ever done that before?
We're not gonna talk about it.
Me neither, girl. I'm so excited though. It is beautiful today and I think we're gonna have a great time.
Yes, we are.
Everybody! Get in here, girl! Influence the Clarke Peoples, all right, bleach blind, build bad, better, biscuits. This yes, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Up and through, girl, yes, here we go. Hey!
Welcome, ladies. We're here to do yoga today. How exciting. Clarke, have you ever tried yoga before?
Once or twice, we're gonna act like I haven't because I don't know anything.
Okay, I got you.
I'm Clarke Peoples. I am a 23-year-old content creator living in New York City. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and recently graduated from Columbia University, and now my content focuses on lifestyle, education, politics, beauty, you name it.
Jenifer, thank you so much for allowing us to use your home and inviting us into this beautiful space.
Absolutely.
We are just honored to be here.
Don't think it's free.
Who is Jenifer Lewis?
I mean, who is Jenifer Lewis? I'm Jenifer Lewis. That's all anybody needs to know. Next question.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, it is such an honor to be able to work with you today. All of the amazing things that you're doing, the least I can do is stretch you out.
I am Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, proudly representing Texas 30th Congressional District, which is anchored in Dallas County, Texas.
So the first thing we're gonna do in this yoga class, which is what we do in all yoga classes, is called setting your intentions. And you'll do that by looking down at your feet, and you're gonna make sure that, yes, exactly. So you're gonna spread them out until they're about 2/5 width apart. With your arms relaxed by your side, you're gonna take an inhale, shrugging the shoulders up, kind of giving that I don't give a Exhale, roll them back, and then your palms are gonna face forward towards me. You can close your eyes. At this portion, what I'm gonna have you do is set your intentions. And I like to set my intentions by asking myself a simple question. What the am I doing here? In this lifetime, in this room,
I just want to know why Congressman Jasmine Crockett is in my basement. That's what I want to know.
It was the law that brought me to politics. Practicing law, seeing the inequities up close and personal made me feel as if there was more for me to do. And I could continue to fight one case at a time, or I could decide to lace up my shoes and decide to change the world for the better by changing the laws themselves.
And this child, Clarke Peoples, I want to know what she's influencing. I can't even get in my head.
When I was in middle school and really coming into myself and learning more about politics, thinking back on my experience visiting my father in prison and how that impacted my family really showed me just how important politics are in everyday life. And so from that point on, being really interested in the legal system and the political system was something that was big for me in middle and high school.
On the next inhale, you do whatever you gotta do to get yourself sitting on your Now remember what we did with our arms earlier. We swept them up, making those 11s. You're gonna do that again. And on the next exhale, I want you to only drop your right hand. So your right hand is just dropping down, meeting the right side of your body. And on the exhale, we're just gonna stretch, leaning over to the left side, letting that right hand support you so that you don't collapse.
Okay.
I have been on the front line for a long time. I became an activist at the height of the AIDS epidemic, and I've been on the trail ever since. People ask me why I do so much. It's because I care. I care. Watch that cord. Look at that cord. You see this cord?
I see it, baby. I see it.
I got some cord. Look at that. Look how hard.
I know, we both like...
Cord. Oh my God, I'm exhausted. Hold on, Jasmine. I want your
I
head.
had to just go
wait
and
a
fall
minute.
down.
She did it. She did it.
But look at her head. It's on the floor.
I don't think that it should ever be on women to somehow change the trajectory of the spaces that we occupy. I can tell you that we are having monumental change that is taking place because our presence really does matter. And one of the things that I really enjoyed seeing is the level of empathy that comes with a female leader. I think that it is important, not just that women show up in these spaces, but that we reserve space for the amazing diversity that makes us who we are in this country. It makes the fabric of this country, to make sure that everyone has a voice in creating the government that we truly deserve.
And so now we'll just take those palms from the sides of our bodies. Inhale, raise them up above your head. Exhale, bring them down to your heart. Take a slight bow to yourself. And as we say, namaste, which means the light in me recognizes the light in you.
Namaste. Beautiful class, sweetie.
Okay guys, we just wrapped up our yoga session. We are all stretched out, feeling good, and now we're gonna have a little chat.
Yeah, now it's time to talk about the important stuff. You know, the thing that I'm working on right now is talking about the brothers. Don Lemon did a thing where he went across the country and asked a lot of young brothers who they were voting for, and they're like, the man, Trump, yeah, who else, man? You know, I want these brothers to imagine their young sisters and nieces that they love so much by that alcoholic uncle. And she dies in your arms in the back seat of a car from an infection from that back alley of. And what are you gonna do when that happens? And when you get her to the hospital, they ain't gonna give her the shot.
I think, you know, the biggest thing with Roe v. Wade, and I want to say my generation, is just fear. Like, what is happening in the absence of Roe v. Wade now that we're in Dobbs? I mean, I'm from Atlanta, and actually a judge that I used to compete under during mock trial just ruled against the 6-week abortion ban.
A Republican judge.
Yes,
Yes,
and he
that was
mentioned The
his-
Handmaid's
yes.
Tale in his ruling. I mean,
Yes, he
it,
There you go.
yeah, it was a really, really, really great ruling, but I think for me, it's like, what does the future look like? I am not even thinking about having children yet, or like what kind of reproductive health care I might need in the event that I do want to have kids, or if something happens. You know, there's so much fear.
And
around-
it's so severe.
Yeah.
The arresting of doctors. You know, there's a case in, I don't know, it might be even Texas, where the girl, she died.
We ended up with approximately 26,000 pregnancies in a little over a year that were the result of. Now, here is the craziest part, and that's just in Texas.
Wow.
The craziest part is that most are underreported.
Oh.
So, I mean, just imagine, like, and it's not fair.
Well,
it's
I
not
had
right.
an attempted on my life back in the 80s, and I wasn't gonna go to
Report
the
it.
authorities.
It's scary.
But my friends made me. I write about it in my book, but I wasn't gonna tell. You're embarrassed. People think, oh, you should have stepped up. No, you don't step up. You can't step up. It's called trauma. We just need to be kinder to one another. That's what has to happen. Be compassionate and more kind to one another.
So, in your role, do you think that politicians are doing enough to address the crisis of mental health, especially among my generation? I mean, it is insane how rampant these issues are, and we see the impacts of it every day.
Yeah, the answer is no. And it's why it's so important that we vote, right? Because we have to have people that not only understand what the issues are on the ground, but actually give a damn and actually want to make a difference. And so, you know, every time there's a shooting, what's the first thing that they want to say? Oh, he had mental health problems, which is only furthering the stigma that exists around mental health in the first place. But my deal is, you know, I tell people all the time, look at the budget, look at the proposed budgets. How much money is any of these people putting into mental health? Zero. Even after the shootings that they claim are results of mental health, they don't put the money in there.
I knew after Sandy Hook,
Yeah.
when they didn't change one gun law,
Yeah.
how much trouble we were in, because those were white babies.
Well, even J.D. Vance at the vice presidential debate said, you know, this is a mental health crisis. That's why we have these shootings. And then he says the answer is to get stronger doors and windows.
Yes, that was
Well,
his
if it's
answer.
a mental health crisis,
That was
shouldn't we be funding
correct,
that? You know,
And they
correct.
won't even
Correct.
get, allow a background check for a gun.
No.
What's wrong with that?
This election cycle has been absolutely insane. I think the biggest thing for me is making sure that I'm not listening to too many outside voices. You're gonna hear from so many people all the time different conflicting viewpoints, things that you don't even know how to decipher the truth from lies. And so I think doing your own research, staying around people who help you feel grounded and a little more calm amidst the chaos is really my key.
I just think that we deserve better of our government. I think that we deserve a government that will look out for all of us. And honestly, if you want to talk to me about what Christianity looks like, it would be looking like taking care of all of us and making sure that whether we're talking about mental health or whether we're talking about reproductive access, that we actually give a damn about healthcare for those that are living in those countries.
What did Kamala, did she ask the question, I think to someone on the Senate floor, are there any laws about men's bodies?
So question for both of you, as someone in leadership, as someone who is in the media entertainment, as an icon, how do you guys think the media's portrayal of Black women, especially in leadership roles, can impact the way that they're able to inspire change and create a difference?
Yeah, for me, it's a matter of the media can literally dictate and give a point of view of someone that may be altered. And so as we're living in a time of disinformation and misinformation, it is very important that we definitely continue to maintain freedom of press, which is something that Project 2025 goes after, because we absolutely need people that believe in the ethics of what they do as they are putting us out there. Now, at the same time, do I believe that they have their own biases that seep in and cause us problems, such as I feel as if the bar is so much higher for the vice president than it would ever be for whatever white man was on the other side.
Absolutely.
If I want to be perfectly honest about it, it's like, oh, she never does enough of this, she never does enough of that. Every time she does something, they move the goalpost. Correct. Like, it's always a challenge, right? And there's never a challenge to him. There's never even, I mean, seriously, when you mentioned the vice presidential debate, J.D. Vance was like, oh, y'all got the audacity to fact check me? Y'all agreed not to fact check me.
Right.
Like, legitimately, like,
That
they're like, we're just
blew my
out here
mind.
trying to like
arrogance.
tell our lies, and y'all are like getting it, like, so
How
that's
dare you?
correct. And
How
that's
dare
what we're
you.
dealing with.
The
That is what we're dealing
arrogance.
with.
You think Harriet Tubman would have given a about the press? Somebody asked me if I was going to leave the country if Trump wins. And I said to them, did Harriet leave the country?
You know, I voted for Jimmy Carter, and of course, I have been on the front line for a long time. Harriet Tubman would roll over in her grave if I don't get Vice President Kamala Harris in the White House. Or should I say back in the White House?
I think that traditional forms of media absolutely villainize Black women. I mean, this entire conversation, white people on Fox News, whatever else, questioning whether or not Kamala Harris just became Black. Those little attacks that have nothing to do with what we're actually here to do, change the world, change the country. I think they're just trying to diminish the power that we're able to, garner. But I think in other ways, the media can be really, really incredible for inspiring change. I mean, we are all a fan of you online. And you've got the coconut tree, everything. I mean, we can really come together in ways. And so I think the media can be terrible, the mainstream is awful, but I think that there is really a pocket of people online, especially who are reporting on things that can really uplift our community, especially, relating to Black women in leadership. All right, you guys, we're all wrapped up. This was the best day in the life I think I've ever had. So let's keep it cute this election cycle and make sure you guys
Go vote!